2021 and 2022 open.
Please be seated. Wahera Soysal, the newly elected president of the Undergraduate Student Council for 2022-2023, please come forward and accept custody of the mace. Good morning, everybody. My name is Marc Montea, I'm the VP for Student Services, and I will be serving today as the Master of Ceremonies for this year's graduation ceremony. AUP graduating students, families, friends, past President Ingold and Hibner, distinguished guests, it's my pleasure to welcome you to the very special commencement exercise of the graduating classes of 2020, 2021, and 2022. Finally, after COVID, we are all gathered here in community to celebrate 3 years of student commencement. Chers futurs diplômés, chers parents, chers amis, Président Ingold, Président Hibner, chers invités, j'ai le plaisir de vous souhaiter la bienvenue à la cérémonie exceptionnelle de remise des diplômes des classes 2020, 2020, 2021, 2022. On the historic occasion of the 60th anniversary of the American University of Paris, we're honored to invite the Honorable Dennis Campbell Bauer, Ambassador of the United States of America to France, to say a few words of welcome. Madam Ambassador, I invite you to give your remarks.
Mesdames et Messieurs, dear students, dear Celeste, it is an honor to join you all at the American University of Paris commencement ceremony today, especially as we celebrate this great institution's 60th anniversary. I'm so glad to be here, and I'm so glad that we are all here in person. In this beautiful setting in the heart of Paris, to honor you, students, to recall your hard work and accomplishments, and to mark the moment as you embark on this new phase in your lives. As United States Ambassador to France and Monaco, I deeply value the exchanges between our two countries, from diplomacy and business ties to connections between individuals and institutions. This is due in no small part to the excellent network of American educational and cultural institutions in France, like the American University in Paris. These institutions exemplify the best of American society and ideas and provide a platform for meaningful academic and cultural exchanges. Many of these relationships become lasting friendships, partnerships, and springboards to new initiatives. It was a U.S. diplomat and World War II veteran, Lloyd Delamater, who founded what was then the American College of Paris in 1962. From the university's earliest days in the basement of the American Church of Paris, to its current status as a renowned institute of higher learning, the American University of Paris has always been a shining example of Franco-American friendship and of the importance of cultural diversity and international exchanges. The values on which the University of Paris was founded, openness to new cultures, intellectual curiosity, are more relevant than ever in today's world. as students, and now as graduates. The world needs your critical thinking skills, your ability to bridge cultural differences, and your enthusiasm for listening to and learning from others of different backgrounds. As graduates of the American University of Paris, whether you are French, American, or from any of the 103 countries represented here, you are now an integral thread in the diverse tapestry of individuals and institutions that make the transatlantic partnership so strong. It is you, our next generation of leaders, who will be called upon to use your talents, your education, and your connections to find solutions to the challenges we face today. We need you to develop innovations that chart new paths for humankind, to build a safer, more peaceful world, to address climate change, and to ensure healthier and more inclusive societies. The challenges our world faces at times seem insurmountable, but if there is one thing you have surely learned as students at AUP, it is that when you can reach beyond cultural and geographic barriers and build alliances based on shared values and visions of the future, nothing is impossible. That is what the Franco-American relationship has always been about. From the Marquis de Lafayette coming to the aid of idealistic American revolutionaries nearly 250 years ago, and the American soldiers landing on the beaches of Normandy to liberate the French people, to the many French and American artists, writers, musicians, scientists, and entrepreneurs who have found inspiration from each other's cultures, we are surely stronger together. I find hope and encouragement in looking at all of you. You have chosen early in life not to let borders or languages limit you. You have embraced as opportunities the challenges of living in a new country and learning a new language. Your experience as global learners and explorers at the American University of Paris is the best preparation you can ask for to take on the changes and challenges of today. Whatever the future holds, you will never be lost when your values, your authenticity, and your integrity serve as your guiding light. Congratulations to the classes of 2020, 2021, and 2022. Enjoy this moment. You deserve it.
Thank you, Madam Ambassador. I now call on Provost Fisher to give his address.
To the graduates of the classes of 2022, 2021, and 2020, my heartfelt congratulations. It is an honor and a privilege to be standing here to celebrate your graduation, and it's always exciting for all of us at the American University of Paris at this time of year to see so many excited, hopeful, relieved, graduating students. Look around you at all the happy faces that are around you. This is the day. All those hours you spent in the library, all those cups of coffee, other stimulants, all the books you've read, all the tests you've taken, all the papers you've written, all after 2 years of COVID, with online courses, with on-site courses, with hybrid courses, with your mics muted and unmuted, your cameras on, your screens shared. Finally, this is a significant and special moment of some solemnity that we mark, for good reasons, with all appropriate pomp and circumstance and with a ceremony of grandeur. We do not, for instance, dress like this every day, nor do we regularly parade into the room, nor do we listen with such attentiveness. This is a moment of special occasion and a moment of many emotions for graduates, for parents, and for professors. We all take pride in your accomplishments as you do. You probably have a little bit of glee at this moment, as well as relief that it's finally over, and even sadness that you've reached the end of this. Perhaps even some anxiety about what lies ahead. Maybe even some disbelief that you've made it this far, or amazement. Could I ask now the classes of 2022, 2021, and 2020 to please stand? And if we could shed some light on them, that would be helpful. It's appropriate that we all applaud you on your accomplishments, and with the graduates still standing, recognizing that your achievements required not only your own hard work to get here, but the assistance of so many others along the way, I invite the graduates to applaud their professors for all the assistance they provided. And if you could turn to face your families and friends, I invite you to acknowledge their contributions to your success. Paulo Freire called education the practice of freedom, the means by which men and women deal critically and creatively with reality and discover how to participate in the transformation of their world. I would like the graduates to still remain standing for a moment until I finish this brief reflection. And if you could leave the lights on them, please, that would be great. I think your time at AUP has already prepared you well to participate in the transformation of our world for the better. AUP's culture of critical engagement and compassionate global citizenship fosters in students and faculty alike a critical sense of commitment to a world of interdependence. In AUP classrooms, whether physical or virtual, students of more than 100 different nationalities develop a capacity for ethical and political judgment alert to cultural diversity, and students and faculty together question and reflect upon real-world challenges while working towards creative solutions. You are now graduates of a university founded on the ambition of building bridges and common community among people from diverse places, backgrounds, and localities. And through your experiences, you've now become independent, creative thinkers with global perspectives, skillful at engaging with diversity and difference, and you're ready to become responsible actors and leaders in the world. So while you're still standing, and to illustrate this, let me follow upon what has become a tradition at AUP's commencements to highlight one aspect of your skills. So let me first invite those of you who speak only one language to be seated. Those of you who speak 2 languages or fewer may now sit down. Those of you who speak 3 languages or fewer may now sit. Those of you who speak 4 languages or fewer may now sit. And rest of you may now sit as well. The rest of you may also sit down. Here's one last reflection on your education. Your education, all that you've learned, all the ways that you have changed, adapted, and evolved over the past few years is now an essential part of who you are. It is the way you think, speak, listen, and create. We are proud of all that you have accomplished, and we are confident about what you will achieve in the years ahead. Congratulations to the classes of 2022, 21, and 20.
Thank you, Provost Fisher. The American University of Paris has a tradition of honoring those students, faculty, and distinguished individuals whose performances have been exceptional and whose contribution to the university deserve special recognition. I now call on Doris Downey, AUP's Chair of the Board of Trustees.
The Board of Trustees of the American University of Paris recognizes annually the graduating senior who exemplifies truly outstanding achievement and who, by inspiring admiration for academic excellence, has made a significant contribution to the life of the university. The Board of Trustees Valedictorian Award for the outstanding scholastic achievement for undergraduate students goes to Natanya Kosman. Natanya achieved a cumulative GPA of 4.0 out of 4.0, the highest in the class. Congratulations, Natanya. Is Natanya here? Is Natanya here? Ah! And what? Can you see Natanya? The Board of Trustees Valedictorian Award for Outstanding Scholastic Achievement for Graduate Students goes to Kendall Smith, who achieved a cumulative GPA of 3.953 out of 4.0, the highest in the class. Congratulations, Kendall. I don't appear to have anything for Kendall, except a big hug. Every year, the Ming Shah Award, which is an endowed gift from a 1965 alumnus of ACP, recognizes the academic excellence of our first finest senior project. The awards committee would like to acknowledge the very high quality of this year's submissions and the difficulty of judges' works across so many disciplines, methodologies, and issues. The variety and quality of this year's submissions are powerful testimonies to the talent of our students, as well as to the dedicated mentorship provided by their faculty advisors. Honorable mention goes to Natanya Kosman for her work Artificial Intelligence and Digital Psychotherapeutics towards a critical anthropology of replica. a rigorous paper examining the use of artificial intelligence as therapy. It ranges across multiple disciplines, including psychology, digital anthropology, sociology, and cultural theory. The committee awards the first prize to Lynn Adjadjali for her thesis entitled Shifting Tides, the Unheard Tales of Syrian Refugees in the Face of Lebanon's Water Crisis. I just want to read out the rest here. So the, pardon me, but I've lost it. Right. The committee wishes to recognize the political urgency and wider social engagement of this rigorously researched paper on a timely theme, an analysis of the relationships amongst climate change, environmental justice, and refugee populations. This thesis is both well-written and cogently argued, taking an interdisciplinary and deeply human approach to the pressing global issues of our time. Lynn? The Board of Trustees of the American University of Paris honors each year a professor whose performance in the classroom is exemplary. AUP faculty evince the highest possible commitment to the art of teaching and to its central role in a liberal arts education. The Board of Trustees Distinguished Teaching Award for 21-22 goes to Dr. Roy Rosenstein. I need to finish it right. Upon the occasion of his retirement and accession to faculty emeritus ranks, Dr. Rosenstein is the longest-serving faculty member in AUP's history, a full 45 years of 60. He is a world-renowned medievalist and specialist on the Spanish Golden Age, but Dr. Rosenstein will be remembered by generations of his students for his extraordinary energy, his ability to elicit voice and confidence in fledgling writers, and his palpable devotion to developing their critical thinking, research, and writing skills. As one student from last semester put it, speaking for 5 generations of students before him, my hope is that Professor Rosenstein leaves this chapter of his life knowing what an impact he has made on his students and how grateful they are for his time and knowledge. Congratulations, Professor Rosenstein. Thank you for upholding our educational vision and for standing as an example for all of us. Okay. It is also the pleasure of the Board of the Trustees of the American University of Paris to honor outstanding faculty achievement in the areas of distinguished research and publication and innovation in instructional design and interdisciplinarity. The award for innovation in instructional and curricular design is bestowed upon Waddick Doyle and Justin McGinnis for their creation. Please stand. For their creation of an NGO practicum to Senegal, blending on-campus preparation and a field-based curriculum on the ground to engage students in their own transformation while studying and engaging in cultural dialogue. The award for innovation for interdisciplinary studies goes to Ruth Coran and Russell Williams for spearheading a new research for spearheading a new research, teaching, and training module to develop data science applications to fields beyond computer science, inviting literature students inside the black box of computational analysis to a better understanding of digital humanities. The award for outstanding research and publication is bestowed upon Robert Payne. A renowned specialist in queer media studies who in the year he assumed the chairmanship of the Communications, Media, and Culture Department also published a brilliant, nuanced, and highly regarded analysis of the film L'Homme Blessé by French director Patrice Chéreau. Thank you, Robert.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I now call upon Dr. Celia Schenk, President of the American University of Paris.
What a joy it is to welcome the classes of 20, 21, and 22 to convene in person and walk together across the stage of our beloved Théâtre du Châtelet as it reopens after 4 or 5 years of renovations and 2 years of COVID. It is my great pleasure today to bestow a series of awards for distinguished performances and service to the American University of Paris. The first, Barbara Reno Senior Prize for Excellence in Filmmaking, goes to Serena Leilani for her short feature film. Please come to the stage. For her short feature film called Womb Worm, film faculty hailed this work for its innovative point of view and its creative use of a range of cinematic languages to explore the ways a resurfaced past trauma can disturb and yet completely transform the present. The Global Professional Skills Award goes to the graduating senior whose summative story of her academic and career-enabling journey at AUP was selected by a jury as best in class. The jury this year commends the extraordinary quality of every single final submission. The 2022 winner is Cale Altimore. Who came from a small town in Pennsylvania to Paris and who will study archaeology next year in Oman. Her confident presentation and creative nonlinear animations captured both her intellectual interest in anthropology and linguistics and her successful deployment of multiple crucial skills: intercultural understanding, negotiation of difference, openness, curiosity, and compassion. And this is The Distinguished Alumni Award goes to Kim Chakanetsa, 2005. Kim, are you here? Can you come up, please? Stand right there. Kim, your journey from Kwekwe, Zimbabwe, to a summa cum laude in global communications and journalism at AUP, to the prize for the finest thesis in African studies at Oxford, to a journalism degree at Columbia, to the Associated Press, to CNN, and finally the BBC, is an extraordinary global explorer pathway. You are yourself an inspired interviewer, inspired, I think, yourself by Christiane Amanpour, who told us the other night, whose weekly radio program on the BBC World Service has, since 2014, put women leaders from vastly different backgrounds into conversation with one another. You've talked to Nobel Prize winners, astrophysicists, presidents, Olympian gymnasts, beatboxers and ballet dancers, skydivers, and anti-poaching rangers. You also present BBC Africa's weekly podcast, The Comb, spotlighting African stories as told by the people who live them, and you will be publishing shortly, moving into a new medium, an encyclopedia of Africa for young children. We at AUP are so proud to call you one of our own, inspired always by the integrity and rigor of your journalistic ethos and your curiosity about and respect for your subjects. The 2022 Presidential Award for Distinguished Achievement goes to George and Irina Schaeffer. Would you please come to the stage? I'm going to hold this right here and give it to you in a moment. You, George Schaeffer, are a visionary leader and a brilliant self-made entrepreneur, and you inspire us by the way in which you have made philanthropy your life's greatest work. Your parents survived the Holocaust and immigrated with you to New York, escaping the violence of the Hungarian Revolution. Your work ethic, tenacity, and creativity, not to mention innovative business practices and creative work environments, ensured the success of OPI Products, the world-recognized nail care brand you founded, and People's Trust as well, the insurance venture that followed. Your business acumen is matched only by your generosity, as for decades now you have sought ways to support your various communities, ranging from medical research to humanitarian projects to Holocaust studies and music education from hospitals to universities. In 2009, you and your wife Irina formed the George and Irina Schaeffer Foundation, through which you've donated millions to charities worldwide. You and Irina are committed to educating today's students about the past in order to create environments of tolerance and mutual respect, and you have said that it is your dream to see genocide end in our time. You have said that education is the key to ensuring that we do not repeat the errors of history. Along with Irina, you believed in AUP and gave us without hesitation and with immense generosity the anchoring gift that permitted us to own the AUP Quai d'Orsay Learning Commons, today home to all the university's learning resources, as well as the George and Irina Schaeffer Center for the Study of Genocide, Human Rights, and Conflict Prevention. Our center today spreads its wings from the Shoah to Syria, bringing to France for the first time and making available to the public the 120,000 hours of survivor testimony in the Visual History Archive founded by Steven Spielberg. You have made possible the innovative research, curricula, and pedagogies that the center provides to its various publics in the hope of fostering deeper understanding of the causes and consequences of genocide and mass violence, never more critical a mission than at the present moment. We recognize you today, George Schaeffer, as a man of tremendous principle and heart. You and your wife, Irina, will always be cherished members of the AUP community.
I now call on Andrew Callahan and Sandra Lefort, this year's presidents of the undergraduate and graduate student councils, to present the Student Government Awards.
Hello, hello. I will be very brief. I do not have any plaques, but I invite those whose names I call to come give me a hearty handshake on the stage. The first award goes to a student. He is an undergrad student, and he's been very active in the AUP community this year. We would like to recognize Motse Kuswani. The next goes to a staff member, one who's been, again, very active in the AUP community this year a lot. We've heard his name many times. This award goes to Professor Russell Williams. Yes, Sandra correcting me, I meant the word faculty, sorry. This one does go to a staff member. It goes to Mr. Liam Bennett and the maintenance team. Thank you very much for everything you guys have done this year with events.
Hi everyone. So the Graduate Student Council would like to recognize today Heather Strassel for dedicating and service to the AUP community. I don't know where she is. This is messy. The Graduate Student Council would like to recognize on this day Susan Perry for tenacity and a relenting dedication to our students. The Graduate Student Council would like to recognize today Mark Montear for his unwavering support and protection of the student body.
Members of the combined classes of 20, 21, and 22, as I graduate with you today, I want to salute your grit, maturity, and resilience in weathering during your student years the trying time of COVID. The sense of responsibility you each showed for the health of others in our community, the respect with which you honored our grading health protocols, the kindness you extended toward fellow students during exceptionally difficult times was inspiring to those of us who teach and guide you. As I often remind you, the design of AUP's curriculum offers you a chance through deep engagement in liberal studies to become your best self while you're at AUP, and it also provides opportunities to explore pathways to meaningful work in the world. Your collective response to the challenges of the pandemic is evidence of the former, how each of you tried in the fire of COVID while engaging in your studies brought your best selves into the light. And what I want to urge you to take away with you today is the utter importance to your lives of finding and sustaining lifelong, personally meaningful work. What I wish for each of you is that you find something that calls your whole soul into being, something that catalyzes your special strengths, and at the same time serves an organization, a business, a community, a country, an institution that holds meaning for you and those you serve. That has been the great gift of my 30 years at AUP, and it is what I wish for each of you, to love every single day, even on the hard days, the institution you serve and the work you engage in alongside others. Let me emblemize for you what personal commitment looks like by introducing our 3 honorary degree recipients to our graduating classes. Today we honor 3 women warriors for their contributions to the fields of winemaking and culture, environmental advocacy and justice, and literature, democracy, and human rights. Will Corinne Mentzelopoulos please step forward? Madam Chair, distinguished guests, faculty, students, parents, friends, it gives me great pleasure to introduce our first candidate for the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa. I am proud to present an honorary degree to a distinguished representative of the field of French patrimonial winemaking, Corinne Mentzelopoulos. You, Corinne Mentzelopoulos, first woman of wine in France. We honor your leadership of that emblem of excellence, Chateau Margaux, one of only 4 wines to achieve Premier Cru status in the Bordeaux classification of 1855. Your father, André, bought the Margaux property in 1977, and after his untimely death, you demonstrated great tenacity and courage when you took up the reins of Margaux in your 20s, partnering with winemaker Paul Pontaillier, also 27, working strenuously, to use your own words, to show that you could not only continue the traditions of an estate with 350 years of history, but also build and improve upon it. Bucking tradition, you stepped boldly into a field that has often been condescending or even hostile to both women and foreigners. You have combined drive and ambition with great patience and humility while you made Margaux what it is today, a billion-dollar business with legendary, if not mythical, standing in French culture. While serving as an uncontested model for women in the wine business, you have actually seen yourself as Margaux's steward, the latest in a long line of caretakers of this exceptional domain that is part of France's patrimoine. In 2015, you completed a Norman Foster renovation of the Margaux cellars, as well as the creation of a wine library, in a blending of old and new architectural styles that emphasizes both the classicism of the chateau itself and the modernity and energy of your personal vision for its future. At our 60th anniversary gala last night, thanks to your generosity, members of the AUP community had the rare experience of drinking Chateau Margaux Premier Cru 1995 with our cheese course. For that gift, for your dedication for over a decade to the American University of Paris, and for your outstanding accomplishments at the forefront of French winemaking, we honor you today. By the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of the American University of Paris, and with the recommendation of the faculty voting in assembly, I confer upon you, Corinne Mentzelopoulos, the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto appertaining. As you accept this degree and hood, we are proud to honor you as a lifelong member of the AUP community. Thank you.
Yes. It's a bit embarrassing to speak after all those people, especially that I'm not English born or American born. So I will try my best. Dear Celeste and all my friends of the American University of Paris community, although this is not the topic of this short address, I absolutely want to congratulate. I was wondering why I couldn't read well, now I know. It was a bit blurry. And thank you, Celeste, for the amazing job, and congratulate her for what she has accomplished at AUP and for the very positive relationship she has had with my family, especially with my son, who graduated in 2016. Alexi's studies at AUP had a profound and positive impact on his personal development and helped him to acquire the tools to pursue his postgraduate studies in Bordeaux. Alexia has now been working with me for the last 2 years, and I'm a very proud mother. Thank you, AUP, for bestowing this award on me. I only have one problem with it, is I'm not sure I deserve it, because my studies are really the only things I did on my own. Because I owe everything to my late father. To make a long story short, he left his native Greece, the cradle of our civilization, as a young man to join his sister in Burma, still part of the British Empire, and finished his stellar career in France as the visionary owner of Chateau Margaux. He was gone too soon to enjoy the results of the dramatic improvements he had made there in less than 3 years. So I was only 27 when my father passed away, and I immediately joined Margaux. It wasn't really a choice. There is something in Margaux so compelling, whether it's wine going back 5 centuries, its unique Palladian architecture, its worldwide prestige and fame that has been going on for 5 centuries. I'm not responsible for it. I just couldn't imagine letting it down. And now I have been doing this job for more than 40 years, and still, there is not one day when I don't thank my father and when I don't marvel at my luck and privilege in being at the service of the gem that Chateau Margaux really is. I assume my Greek heritage has given me the right to practice philosophy, although I am well aware I will never, ever be Socrates. I'm trying, though. I would like to share the following still. Whatever your circumstances, you have to set a goal and work like a dog to reach it. You will never go wrong if you work hard enough. Should you be successful, never believe you deserve it or that the world owes you something in return. On the contrary, don't throw your weight around and make people envious. I always felt you almost have to apologize for your success, especially in my case, when I'm basically a lucky heiress. So you want to make sure to give back as much and as well as possible. The Greek word philanthropy, meaning the love of mankind, says it all. Philanthropy is more than giving money, regardless of the amount. It is a way of life that gives meaning to your accomplishments. All of you have had the opportunity to study at AUP. Don't forget those who will never have this chance. And whatever you means, and now I'm going to quote somebody, brace yourself. He's not Greek. I'm going to quote Michael Jackson, who always recommended, make this world a better place.
Madam Chair, distinguished guests, faculty, students, parents, friends, it gives me great pleasure to present the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters to honoris causa to a distinguished representative of the fields of civil society development, environmental justice, and documentary filmmaking to AUP alumna Layla Connors, class of '89. I invite you to the podium. Layla, since you studied international politics at AUP, you've been a champion of civil society, environmental protection, and an advocate for a world free of nuclear weapons. For 20 years, you have headed Tree Media, the production think tank you founded to use stories and media to identify pathways to a world that we will all want to live in. Tree has steadfastly sought out and disseminated via filmmaking stories that help us understand, navigate our time, and most important of all, take action. You most recently directed Ice on Fire for HBO with Leonardo DiCaprio that premiered at Cannes in 2019, En route, sharing it with our AUP students who were holding an online zero-carbon conference during COVID with their peers across our consortium of American universities abroad. You also directed a documentary on Gorbachev titled The Arrow of Time that premiered in Zurich in 2017. We the People 2.0 was your feature documentary about community and nature rights. Your very first feature-length documentary, The 11th Hour, known to us all, was co-created with Leonardo DiCaprio. We honor you today for your lifelong work with NGOs, governments, political leaders, cultural figures, writers, and activists to draw attention to all the ways that environmental collapse and social inequity may be effectively addressed and countered. We look forward to years of continued collaboration with you on our shared mission to improve the health of our planet and the human communities that inhabit it. By the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of the American University of Paris, and with the recommendation of the faculty voting in assembly, I confer upon you, Leila Connors, the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto appertaining. As you accept this degree and hood, we are proud to honor you as a lifelong member of the AUP community.
Thank you, Celeste, and thank you to the American University for this honor, and a big congratulations to 2022, 2021, and 2020. Really fantastic. I want to first acknowledge the incredible job, Celeste, you've done for this university, and also congratulations to the AUP for the 60th anniversary. When I attended in the late 80s, I was steeped in this authentic and international culture of this institution. It's true and genuine, and I do see that it's still going strong, and it makes me so very happy. It warms my heart to see that this will continue as a model for the world. When I was asked to say a few words, I just know that you are all so excited and ready to get going, and I thought, okay, I'll make this quick. I'd love to sit with you guys all at the Amex Cafe and discuss the deep issues. So what can I impart right now? And I pondered it for quite some time, watched a couple of YouTube videos of commencements, and then I decided, all right, well, let's just lean in on who I am and what I've encountered. And again, I resonate with you about, the humility of it all and what could I possibly impart. And what I can impart is a few thoughts, things that people have taught me. I'll tell you 3 things that have stuck with me from the different people that I've met throughout my work. But I also want to mention the world condition within which we all find ourselves. You're entering into a world as young adults, and as we know, we are challenged by war, a pandemic, climate disruption, and global economic strain. It's not just a trifecta, but a superfecta of challenges. And none of this is your fault. You didn't participate in creating this situation, but you are inheriting this. So what stance can you possibly take at this time? That's what I kept thinking about, and the word that comes back to me is bravery. But a certain practical bravery that comes with an internal strength combined with humility and vision. And this is something I've observed in others in my work. It is a stance also that I believe can take us through what I call a bottleneck of threats and challenges. So what do I mean by this? Well, I have a few examples. The first comes from a man named Akila Sherrills, a man who grew up with 10 brothers and sisters in one-room apartment in Watts in Los Angeles. It's my native town. He lived through horrific gang violence, but yet through following people who he perceived who had light in their eyes, he found his way out and through. He went on to create the gang truce in Watts that have lasted decades. And one thing he said that always stayed with me was, where the wound is, the heart is, and that is where peace will emerge. And he said, I'd rather stare down the barrel of the gun for peace than for war. They are both difficult and dangerous, but waging peace is the pathway. The humility of this man and the peace that he accomplished through his humility is what continues to inspire me and inform me to this day, so I thought I would share that one bit of wisdom with you. The second idea comes from a visionary woman named Janine Benyus, who, when getting her biology degree, was sitting in a Department of Agricultural Forest in Colorado. It was a managed monoculture forest. And she was being taught by her professor how to grow trees 18 inches apart. When she glanced over to an unmanaged forest, part of the woods, and she noticed there was so much vibrancy and life, energy, plants growing this way and that, it looked much healthier than what she was being shown. And she asked about it, and the professor immediately shot her down and said, 18 inches apart, same trees. That vision, though, of that healthy, unruly forest stayed with her because it looked different and it felt better. She wanted to know how nature then actually works, so she came up with this question: what would nature do? What happens when we really observe nature rather than impose our rationale on the landscape? Well, what happens is that we build things in context. We become better suited to the world around us. And what also happens is she came up with a whole new discipline called biomimicry. It's a systems based on a notion that given that nature's been around for billions of years, maybe it knows what to do. So maybe we should study nature's operating instructions. So why don't we try and do that? Her breakthrough has now transformed how we build things, how we power our world, how we solve all sorts of challenges from water to climate. What has stayed with me most was her phrase, life creates the conditions that supports life. Her notion that create what works in context always stayed with me. So before you vision, before you put your DNA out into the world, intellectually, creatively, look at nature, build in context. Look at what is around, see how it fits, but also see how you can push it forward as well. And finally, strength that leads to bravery. And this is a short one. An old friend of mine said, when staring down all these threats to humanity and our livelihoods, he said, actually, this is a great time to be alive because this generation gets to completely reinvent this world. And this is true, and this comes from me personally. We have all the answers to our problems. We really do. We can fix climate. War is absolutely unnecessary, and we know how to secure our food supply and build sustainable economies. I've seen these solutions myself, and the only thing that stands in our way is the will to execute and implement what we know, which is where you come in. It is now your turn to step fully into this complex arena of life. I ask that you step in bravely, and I suggest you join the people who are building and managing this new world. It's happening, it's wonderful and exciting. So wage peace fiercely, live in balance with your surroundings, and know that this is a tremendous, tremendous moment to be alive. With the tools that we have now, nothing will stop you. Go get them, class of 2022, 21, and 20.
Madam Chair, distinguished guests, faculty, students, parents, friends, it gives me great pleasure to introduce our final candidate for the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa. I am proud to present an honorary degree to a distinguished representative of the fields of women's literature, Africana literature, education, and human rights, Dr. Obioma Nemeka. You, Obi Nemeka, Chancellor's Professor of French, Gender, Women's Studies, and Africana Studies at Indiana University, Purdue, are a prolific and distinguished scholar whose influence spans 5 continents and 38 African countries. In your scholarship, you have addressed issues of democracy, health, human rights, and conflict resolution, refusing to remain locked in an ivy tower of ideas and theory. You have steadfastly linked your research with the practice that is teaching and deep engagement with the marginalized and the voiceless. Your international humanitarian work and your skill for capacity building and convocation of diverse constituencies have improved the lives of countless girls and women. You have walked the walk through your service to others and through your leadership in diversity, equity, and inclusion, minority issues, social justice, women's health, girls' education. You too are a consummate global explorer. From your academic beginnings at the University of Nigeria as a French and African Studies major, to your decades in the United States as a student and professor. From your addresses to large audiences worldwide, to your sustained work bringing literacy to rural populations, your position between cultures is a strength from which you draw. AUP's global explorers aspire to what you have achieved, the ability to make themselves at home anywhere in the world and to engage for the common good wherever they find themselves. But despite all of your global engagements, you have remained lifelong a proud, strong Igbo woman, decisive in your action, powerful in your leadership, and inspiring to all in your commitment to democracy and social change. By the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of the American University of Paris, and with the recommendation of the faculty voting in assembly, I confer upon you, Dr. Obioma Nemeka, the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto appertaining.
President Schenck, Board of Trustees, faculty, staff, students, families, and friends, I am much honored to be here with you today. I must give a big shout out to dozens of my friends and colleagues that have traveled from 11 countries on 4 continents to be here today on my behalf. I value your friendship. I love you. One thing I know about my friends is that they are fiercely loyal. I also know that sometimes they are fiercely skeptical. I know why they're here. They're here to make sure that you give me this thing. If you don't, you will have in your hands a revolution bigger than 1789. To AUP students, I say, lucky you. You live in a unique city, study in a unique institution, and are taught by a unique faculty that delivers a unique education. Usually, as commencement, speakers urge the newly minted graduates to go forth into the world and do X, Y, and Z. I will not give you that charge because going through this wonderful institution, you are already in the world. I don't know of any institution of this size that has 107 nationalities speaking 70 languages and dialects. Certain, as your president said, I'm an Igbo woman. Certain that my language, Igbo, is not one of the 70 languages spoken at AUP, I wrote in an earlier version of this presentation that I will give AUP a grade of 99% and keep 1% until my language, Igbo, is one of the languages spoken at institution. But 2 days ago, Professor Susan Perry came over to my hotel for a chat and informed me, to my surprise, that she has an Igbo student in her class. I quickly went back to my earlier draft and put back the 1% I withheld. The current grade for AUP is 100%. AUP, you are too much. Your unique institution is an incubator for grooming fearless border crossers, confident global explorers, and worthy global citizens. Yes, at AUP, you are in the world. I was asked to speak briefly about my work. Upon deep reflection, I came to the realization that my journey and your journey intersect. My work mirrors what transpires in your classrooms. Yes, I'm a fearless border crosser and a proud global explorer as you are. In my work, I interrogate the contents and contexts of my disciplines, and in the process, expand their boundaries through interdisciplinary approaches that ensure the intersection of gender studies with multiple disciplines in the humanities, social sciences, law, and sciences. In the United States, for upward mobility and survival in the academy, faculty members are evaluated in 3 categories: research, teaching, and service. 18 years ago, the top journal in gender studies called Science invited Dr. Celeste Schenck, Dr. Susan Perry, Dr. Françoise Lyonnais at Harvard, and me to co-edit a special issue of the journal on gender and development. The title we gave our special issue is Development Cultures, New Environments, New Realities, New Strategies. AUP is in my research dossier. 2 years earlier, I was appointed to the National Advisory Board of the Association of American Universities and Colleges for a multi-year project titled Liberal Education and Global Citizenship, the Arts of Democracy. We awarded grants to 12 universities for curricular development reform that will center the humanities and democratic values. AUP was one of the institutions and the only one outside the United States that was selected to receive our grant. When we met in Washington, D.C., Dr. Schenck was there to work with us on the project. AUP is in my teaching dossier. A few years after the horrific Rwanda genocide, Dr. Susan Perry and I started our work on peace and conflict resolution in Rwanda. I remember Susan and me traveling from Kigali to Nyamata and villages in between, listening to Hutu and Tutsi women traumatized and broken by war tell their stories of the catastrophic event that occurred in their homeland. Susan and I collaborated with them to find ways to heal and move forward. When we returned to the United States, Susan and I continued our Rwanda project by joining the Women Waging Peace Initiative at Harvard University's Kennedy School of Government. AUP is in my service and community engagement dossier. In my entire dossier, AUP occupies a prominent place in all 3 categories: research, teaching, service. So your your AUP experience reflects the contents of my entire dossier. My work is anchored in the wisdom of my homeland, Igbo land, in southeastern Nigeria. There is a foundational belief in Igbo land that structures the society and guides its people. This belief is encoded in a proverb that says, "Ife kwulu, ife akwudebie." Translated into English, when something stands, something else stands beside it. But this prevalent English translation means that it doesn't capture the essence and nuance of the proverb. Nkwudebe goes beyond beside to capture the idea of closeness. When something stands, something else stands close to it. The theology of nearness, encapsulated in this proverb, assumes that what is near is dear and anticipates contact, border crossing, and action. At some point in your life, you probably have told someone, a child or a lover, "Come close to me." This is a call to action. Something happens. I can see a young man there smiling. He probably have recalled when he said, "Come close to me." So this proverb does not raise an ontological question, being there. Rather, it speaks to an existential question, doing something there, of mutual action for personal and collective survival. Nkwudebe, closeness, empathy, caring, humanity. This thinking echoes in my work and in the work of the brilliant academics that teach you in this fine institution. You can see why I stated earlier that my journey and your journey intersect. In conclusion, here I want to teach you what you have not learned at AUP. The two words I just said, in conclusion, is a trick you must have up your sleeves when you start speech making. If you exceeded the time allotted to you, and you fear that someone might push you off the podium, you just say, "In conclusion." That will make the person back off and allow you the couple of minutes you need to finish your thought. But my use of in conclusion here is real. I am actually concluding. What I want you to take away from my brief remarks are two words: awareness and space sharing. These two words govern my work and permeate the education you receive at AUP. These two words will guide you as you navigate our increasingly fractured, conflictual, and contentious world. The awareness I speak of requires a deep understanding and appreciation of who or what occupies this space with you. It is the awareness that respects and treats with dignity and humanity everything in that space. Because we carry the other in us, alienating the other leads to self-alienation that ultimately undermines us all. Personal and collective growth is the gift we receive for recognizing, appreciating, and nourishing the other in all of us. The preservation of the other in you is also self-preservation. It captures the spirit of the Zulu Ubuntu. I am because you are. The word Ubuntu is actually part of the Zulu phrase Umuntu, Ngumuntu, Ngabantu, which means that a person is a person through other people. I am confident that you will create a space where words can meet without colliding. Or as an African proverb succinctly puts it, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. I know that you will go far as border crossers, confident and unafraid. I want you to know that wherever I am, I will be rooting for you. Good luck. Congratulations to the class of 2020, 2021, and 2022.
This is the moment of awarding bachelor's and master's degrees to the classes of 2020. 2021 and 2022. On va avoir besoin d'un petit peu plus de lumière, s'il vous plaît, dans la salle. Merci. Will the 2020, 2021, and 2022 candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Arts please stand? Madam President, Provost Fisher, Chair Donnie, I present the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Arts. They have successfully completed all requirements for the degree and have been approved by the faculty.
By the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of the American University of Paris and upon the recommendation of the faculty, I confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Arts with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto appertaining.
Please be seated. Will the 2020, 2021, and 2022 candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science please stand? President Schenk, Provost Fisher, Chair Downey, I present the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science. They have successfully completed all requirements for the degree and have been approved by the faculty.
By the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of the American University of Paris and upon the recommendation of the faculty, I confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Science with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto appertaining.
Please be seated. We now turn to the Master of Arts candidates. Will the 2020, 2021, and 2022 candidates for the degree of Master of Arts please stand? President Schenk, Provost Fisher, Professor Perry, Professor Wesley, Chair Downey, I present the candidates for the degree of Master of Arts. They have successfully completed all the requirements for the degree and have been approved by the faculty.
By the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of the American University of Paris and upon the recommendation of the faculty, I confer upon you the degree of Master of Arts with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto appertaining.
Please be seated. And finally, will the 2020, 2021, and 2022 candidates for the degree of Master of Science please stand? President Schenk, Provost Fisher, Professor Roda, Professor Catt, Chair Downey, I present the candidates for the degree of Master of Science. They have successfully completed all the requirements for the degree and have been approved by the faculty.
By the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of the American University of Paris, and upon the recommendation of the faculty, I confer upon you the degree of Master of Science, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto appertaining.
Please be seated. It's a tradition at the American University of Paris to initiate graduates into the worldwide community of AUP alumni. I now call on Killian Aldelide, Director of Communications and Outreach at the American University of Paris and AUP alum.
Good morning, graduates. Having sat in your seat 9 years ago during my own AUP graduation, I know all too well that it has been a very long ceremony, and I'm the last person to stand between you and your diplomas. I will be brief. First, I want to congratulate you, your friends, your family, and everyone else who has joined us today to celebrate this momentous occasion. On behalf of the university, the Office of Alumni Affairs, over 20,000 alumni and former students in 145 countries, it is my distinct pleasure to welcome each of you to the global alumni community of the American University of Paris. As you take the next steps on your journey, know that your AUP education has prepared you well for the challenges in the world today. Regardless of the twists and turns that you may encounter in the years to come, your AUP community will support you every step of the way. Let that fuel your ambitions as you go forward. But before you go, please remember that when you came to AUP, whether that was 1 year ago, 4 years ago, or longer, you began a lifetime relationship with our beloved university. So I hope that you can promise us two things. First, please stay connected to us through our Alumni Affairs office and tell us where you go and what you do. We're eager to follow your progress and celebrate your accomplishments with you. And secondly, do travel back to reconnect with your classmates and to inspire the next generation of global explorers with your journey that will send them off on their own. Now, it has become a bit of a tradition at AUP to offer our graduates a parting gift that befits the next phase of your lives. When you walk across this stage in just a few moments, my colleague Emily Irwin, graduate of the class of 2019, and Lucy Abousefian will offer you a small parting gift, an AUP luggage tag. As you travel all over the world, we ask you to use that luggage tag to start conversations in airports, train stations, and car rental agencies. Share with others the remarkable story of AUP, your experience, and your wonderful achievements at this university and beyond. My sincere congratulations to all of you.
Okay, now the fun part. I get to read your names. I will read the names of the new graduates as you proceed onto the stage to receive your diplomas. If you stand one row at a time, people seated behind will be able to see the stage. Although I know it's an exciting time for your families and friends, may I ask everyone to refrain from applauding too much before it's all done? Otherwise, the champagne will be flat by the time we're done. Remember, 3 classes, and in advance, apologies for my mispronouncing your names. I'll do my best, but there's so much I can do. Are we ready for that? I suppose that's a yes. Let's proceed. Class of 2020, Bachelor of Arts, Diana A.J. Abusara. Archil Abramishvili, Bachelor of Arts, cum laude, honors in International Economics. Sabrina Alexandra Hall Aguirre, magna cum laude, honors in Global Communications, GPS certificate. Melissa Ann Ahara. Mohammed Ahmad Al-Tani. Chiara Sofia Amor, GPS certificate. Anis Kathleen Angel, GPS certificate. Eleonora Balkina. Ali Benzirara. Alizé Chaudet. Juliet Eliana Cimini. Alexa Marie Daly. Malak Issam Almawardi. Alexandra Goodman, cum laude, honors in art history. Diana Noel Hickox, summa cum laude, honors in history and in international economics, GPS certificate. Madeline Elizabeth Hoover. Nina Kirubi. Lauren Nicole Morris. Youssef Adam Mouadjir. Habiba Nadim. Patrick Nizio. Manuela Paz Fajardo. Andrew G. Remington, cum laude, honors in international comparative politics. Santiago Jose Rodriguez Flores Estrada. Samira Safarzadeh, honors in creative writing. Ahmed Sentisi. Kathleen Murray Sharp, summa cum laude, honors in global communications, GPS certificate. Suan Han Chen, summa cum laude, honors in international comparative politics and in history. Yasmin Smadi, GPS certificate. Marco Tacchini. Leonardo To, magna cum laude, honors in creative writing, GPS certificate. Coco Arabella Wagner, cum laude, honors in global communications. Catherine Luisa Zambrano. Class of 2020, Bachelor of Science. Nutsa Kupunia. Class of 2021, Bachelor of Arts, Zina Abuel Makarem, cum laude, honors in global communications. Sultan Al Abdul Karim. Milana Alexeyeva, cum laude. Adriana J. Alonso. Delaney Anderson. Paulina Arenas de la Fuente. Ashley Lassell Phillips Baker, GPS certificate. Barbara Murat Batka, summa cum laude, honors in history and in economics and management. Lina Benayed. Jean-José Aboubakar Bewinde. Amari Sincere Bingwe, cum laude, honors in global communication, GPS certificate. Isabella Bosco. Gillian Denise Campbell, cum laude, honors in psychology and in creative writing. Elizabeth Sue Cleveland, cum laude, honors in international comparative politics. Madison Page Coakley, magna cum laude. Jasmine Momoko Kudo Cohen, summa cum laude, honors in history. Camille Curtis. Madeline Victoria Charnick, cum laude. Leanna Rose Davis. Cristina Diaz Peña. Andrea Duato Grover, honors in philosophy, politics, and economics. Lojane Hamed Eltawi, cum laude. Celine Elias. Thorin Page Erb, magna cum laude, honors in international comparative politics and in history, GPS certificate. Mikhail Farat. Quinn Vincent Fawley. Jenna Santidi Galovich. Hold on. Lucas Garcia Iques. Yasmina Anais Gandour. Isabelle Guigui, summa cum laude, honors in international comparative politics and global communication, GPS certificate. Thank you. Karim Echegurai, cum laude, honors in art history. Zoe Eleonore Abar, magna cum laude, honors in history. Oscar Dao Artsog, magna cum laude. Mohammed Hatoum, magna cum laude, GPS certificate. Holly Shireen Esamian. Zoe Reese Hoffman. Hussam Ibrahim. Gabrielle Ishai. Olivia Genevieve Jenkins, magna cum laude. Katia Jubran. Anna Leah Elvire Laik. Alistair Lane. Rebecca Lugoff, cum laude. Sabrina Alexandria Lee. Kayla Brianna Lopez. Antonia Mardones Porteles. Zaid Musa Marmash. Malia Lian Mena Elder. Summa cum laude, honors in computer science, math, and environmental science. Alexandre Misculin. Giselle Moriel. Thais Mouli. Lara Franco Olsen. Julia Orr. Kayleen Sarah Pedersen. Catherine Ansley Peace, cum laude. Tania Gavrilova Radkova, magna cum laude, honors in economics and management. Ivana Panayotova Rezi. Jack Malcolm Sanders. Dora Joy Sauder, cum laude. Sofia Scalzo. Sydney Scarpa, magna cum laude. Kay Lynette Simpkins. Emmeline Grace Snyder. Nafisatu Tambajang. Dana Turogina, cum laude. Ursula Maria Robo, magna cum laude. Bachelor of Science. Farouk Adekunle, cum laude. Georgie Besiashvili. Mohammad Nasur Jabour, GPS certificate. Minya Nedelchkovich, summa cum laude, honors in economics and management. Jonathan Nuluwe, honors in finance. Sarah Elizabeth Zintek, magna cum laude. Class of 2022, Bachelor of Arts. Paola Isabella Aguirre. Noura Abdullah Al-Salud. Kyle Rose Altimore, summa cum laude, honors in global communication, GPS certificate. Elena Adelaide Amrain, GPS certificate. Alexei Mikhail Anderson, magna cum laude, GPS certificate. Caden Sage Armstrong, magna cum laude, honors in creative writing and in history. Maria Atala. Rachel Nicole Avila. Isabella Beach, summa cum laude, honors in creative writing. Driss Eric Benchekroun. Juliette Berno. David Binker. Alan Blackwall, magna cum laude. Majin Bushamawi. Andrew Michael Callaghan. Genevieve Alice Booger, cum laude, honors in history, GPS certificate. Adeze Jennifer Nwokolobia. Elizabeth Grace Canavan, GPS program. Madeline Carpenter Crawford. Khaled Shabani, magna cum laude, honors in film studies and in history. Dorothy Geneva Chaudouin, summa cum laude, honors in comparative literature. Alexandre Évrard Philippe Chauvel, magna cum laude. Jacob Jean Clemmer, cum laude, honors in history. Anthony Joseph Coletta. Oliaya Compaore. Ana Carolina Galeli da Silva, GPS certificate. Sofia Gabrielle Decker, GPS certificate. Adrija Dekmane. Lindo, summa cum laude, GPS certificate. Selma Ducic, cum laude. Colin Blair Duncan, magna cum laude, honors in comparative literature. Just a sec. Zachary Malanigan, summa cum laude, honors in history, GPS certificate. Moulay Youssef El Alawi.
Environmental Studies.
Lynn El Hajali, honors in history, honors in computer science, math, and environmental studies, GPS certificate. Julia El Kaim. Claire Louise English. Daniela Farrell. Zoe Isabel Felix, magna cum laude, honors in philosophy. Carlo Frescobaldi. Elizabeth Avani Gallo Andrade, GPS program. Marion Lise Garnier, GPS program. Chloé Marie Gavalas, cum laude. Adrien Georges. Henri-Alexandre Charles Georges. Massi Gassemi. Julia Camila Giordo, magna cum laude, honors in international comparative politics. Julia Valentina Giuliani, magna cum laude, honors in art history. Rebecca Eve Goldsmith. Melissa del Carmen Gomez. Marichos Gonzalez Masis. Lucy Iris Goodhart, magna cum laude, honors in comparative literature and in international and comparative politics. Celia May Goodman. Alia Michaela Hajar. Paul Gabriel Oscar Harding, cum laude. Avery Caroline Harley, magna cum laude, honors in global communications. Emma Roselia Hartstock. Aneta Ivanova, GPS certificate. Michael William Justice, magna cum laude, honors in psychology. Magdalene Kligerman. Natanya Kosman, summa cum laude. Linus Larson, cum laude. Stefan Levchenko, cum laude, honors in film studies. Emmanuel Mary Lewis, cum laude. Milo Vincent Jean Lignel. Talula Rose Lover, magna cum laude. Diego Joseph Mason, cum laude. Emma Campbell McLaughlin. Fiona Katerina McCurry, honors in comparative literature. Nolan Miles Jurgen McNerney. Caroline Constance Mels, GPS program. SM Marys. Meredith Elizabeth Miller. Yasmin Ariseldi Moriel, GPS certificate. Alassane Ndoye Nakulima, summa cum laude, honors in history. Lauren Josephine Naines, magna cum laude, honors in global communications. Cross LaForge Nelson, cum laude. Olivia Nelson, magna cum laude, GPS certificate. Crystal Ramon Nozier, cum laude, honors in history, GPS certificate. Mutsi Saidi and Claude Dibé Kouchwani. GPS program, magna cum laude, honors in economics and management. Christian Nze. Oscar X. Padula, cum laude, honors in global communications. Stella Murphy Patel, cum laude, honors in global communications. K. Elizabeth Perasak-Lee, cum laude, honors in psychology. Ariane Clara Petit. Solange Inès Pinon. Guy Micklewhite. Adilene Blancarte, magna cum laude. Harriet Pogg. Pamela Posada, GPS program. Marie-Charlotte Prior, cum laude, GPS certificate. Sofia Quintero. Razan Raidan. Robert Reed Richardson. Michaela Lee Riggio, magna cum laude, honors in comparative literature and in philosophy. Luis Angel Rodriguez. Bianca Isabel Rodriguez Vasquez. Jacob Matthew Rogers. Sofia Gorelik Rose, cum laude, honors in film studies. Max Dimitrius Rujas. Mitchell Allen Rutledge, summa cum laude, honors in history. Kathy Ashley Kimberly Saboga. Ana Santana Perez. Sophia Rose Sedki. Sylvia Madeleine Seldovitz. Brandon Nathaniel Garland Sherlock. Angelina Cheveleva. Caroline May Schreven, cum laude. Dominic Spada, GPS program. Mia Bella Stein. Audrey Steen. Maximiliano Stimerling de la Vega, cum laude, honors in psychology. Chire Tal, cum laude, honors in international comparative politics. Jonathan Brian Thompson, magna cum laude, honors in international comparative politics and in computer science, math, and environmental science. Lois Valvey. Lani Von Eyth. Brielle Sabrina Watler, cum laude, honors in economics and management. Michael Eden Winchester. Linnea Eden Wade Wingerup, summa cum laude, honors in global communications. Kira Winter, magna cum laude, honors in psychology. Serena Leilani Woosley, summa cum laude, honors in creative writing, honors in film studies. GPS certificate. Abigail Wright, cum laude, honors in film studies. Alix Constantine Ifantopoulos, honors in psychology. Ava Zakinini. Annika Marie Zottmulder, magna cum laude, honors in history. Giovanni Sunino, GPS certificate. Bachelor of Science. Blanca Eugenia Brown Esteban, magna cum laude, honors in computer science, math, and environmental science, GPS certificate. Marie Ganeval, summa cum laude, honors in finance. Clara Kikech, cum laude, honors in economics and management, GPS certificate. Faith Ianu Oluwa Ladisuyi Williams. Basile Paul Alexandre Mazon. Magdalene Kieli McCartney. Rachel Rumbo. Jabari Supervier. Gideon James Vincini, magna cum laude, honors in computer science, math, and environmental science. Class of 2020, Master of Arts. Global Communications, Madeleine Bell van der Eyden. Development Communication, Kate Audrey Butchard. Jacinda Patrice Carlisle. Chelsea Ruvarashi Robin Kalumbu. Jessica Worris. Class of 2021, Master of Arts in Global Communication. Lara Daher. Prisma Gimir. Tomislava Bogdanova Tomova. Global Communication, Digital Cultures and Industries. Anya Abuel Makarem. Global Communications, Shanna Monique Calendar. Mai Chinchora Shabrun. Riley Marie Mowbray. Noor Nabulsi. Aris Wakefield. Master of Arts in International Affairs, Sarah Musi. Azim Falah Musafa. Catherine Gail Carson Nicholson. Master of Science, Henry Larson Rolfe. Aya Imad Tawi. International Management, Kevin James Jarusi. Sustainability Systems Track. Master of Arts, Diplomacy and International Law, 2022, Carrie Baldacchino. Diplomacy and International Law. Yulina Calvina Cavillo Solis. Selena Danielle Colburn. Alicia Rose Crone. Sofia de Castro Pinero Torres. Sandra Diab. Jennifer Ann Edwards. Celia Madison Fleischacker. Alexandra Yuka Fochos. Colin McCallum Ardage. Sarah Elaine Jordan. Jonathan Oxley Moniz. Isabella Neihart. Cecily Rowan. Ilka Rodriguez Delgado. Amelia Lorraine Irwin. Michelle Doyle. Global Communication, Development Communications. Barbara Therese Flack. Ocean Aldina Kifini Vasquez. Motunrayo Oreolua Onafowokan. Sarah Rienda de la Mota. Ashley Noel Watkins Roots. Digital Cultures and Industries, Sophia Noel Constantino. Julia Sherwood Dudley. Victoria Iran Short. Fashion Track, Anissa Fried Agrama. Eleanor Marta Miora Alberg. Christina Constantin Anto. Levi Lincoln Hare. Hillier Natalie. Oman Kim. Brooke Trinidad Stewart. Sarah Day Wynn. Global Communications, Savannah Gabrielle Cooper. Irene Shia Corrigan. Jesus Christ. Alan Altameche Gonzalez. Gillian Aileen Kelly. Emily Rose Lipkowski. Martha McPhee. Alicia Nafilian. Claire Elizabeth Sissoums. Alfonso Shogreen. Kellyanne Smith. Vivian Perry Stewart. Anna Walgreen. Nancy Nelson Weiss. Master of Arts, International Affairs, Sultan Ali Al-Amghani. Miriam Sophia El-Mokfi. Anel Lilibeth Gonzalez. Kendall Jenny Jimenez. Amanda Catherine Park. Justin Shields. Marie Michelle Simon. Kendall Elizabeth Smith. Kendall. Lucy Wall. Natalie Margaret Wirtz. Maura Lucy Patrick. Conflict Resolution and Civil Society Development. Mary Elise Platt. Jackie Tuis. Class of 2022, Master of Arts, Master of Science, Human Rights and Data Science, Sandra Adélaïde Lefort. Jackson Henry Van. Master of Science in International Management, Mbalu Mariam Konate. Ezekiel Oluwayomi Olabiyi. Eva Sophie Schneider. Madeleine Cecilia van der Linden. NGO Mission Based Track. Alim Aisha Blancet. Farah Youssef Omais. Michelle Janine Ponce. Heather Marie Strassel. Sustainability Systems Tract, Abdallah Alamadani. Justin Frederick Bauer. Adam Cohen. Maura Di Giglio. Chloe Gervais. Luca Valentino Knupfer. Rachel Mitchell. Amara Ray Pate. Is that it? Piece of cake. Don't know about you, but I feel a little bit better. Okay. Madam Chair, Madam President, this concludes the conferral of the Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Science, Master of Arts, and Master of Science degrees. Now, listen to me carefully because I shall repeat this only once. To indicate your status as university graduates, so if you just received a bachelor's degree, shift the tassel of your hat from the right to the left. If it was on the left, don't touch anything. Now for master's degrees, just the opposite. So it's going to be from the left to the right. Please join me in applauding the AUP graduates of the classes of 2020, 2021, and 2022. Be crazy! Okay, enough, children. Please be seated. Won't be long. And what's coming, you're gonna like. Not that you didn't like what came, but you know. The following senior speaker was elected by her peers and selected by a panel. She is also a recent graduate with a double major in international comparative politics and in philosophy, politics, and economics. I now call on Adeze Nwokolobia.
Hello, everybody. Dear fellow graduating students, graduates of 2022, 2021, 2020, and families, esteemed faculty and administration, as well as speakers, welcome to the 2022 commencement ceremony. Let me start by telling you a little bit of myself. As a child, I've always been restless, and it showed in the way that I couldn't sit still. Listening intensely, yet my mind would wander to new and far places. I've always known that I was an explorer. As a child, I would go outside and sit on the stone steps outside of my house and gaze into the Lagos night sky in the tiny gated suburb I lived in. I would dream of the worlds I'd read about in books. And I'm an Aquarius, if you're wondering. Yeah, we live in our heads 80% of the time. I imagined myself as a dandelion, floating through these wonderful and exotic places, free and boundless, drifting about, carried by the winds of time. Now, I am that dandelion, having lived in different worlds with the help of my family. As a young child, I started with New York, Cairo, Amsterdam, Madrid. However, Paris was the gateway to these other European countries. As a transfer student at AUP, I felt isolated, coming from a traditional campus upstate New York. So I set off in investigating and trying to find the source of AUP school spirit. It was from the Dean of Student Development, Kevin Ford, that I found out that at AUP, everyone is a foreigner, and other, even the French in an American institution. At AUP, we create community and we find our tribe, but we do so by seeking them out, just like explorers do. You can't afford to sit on the sidelines and wait in vain. Neither here nor there, my fellow graduates. We're not defined by state boundaries or lines. We're global citizens as we reach across the divide and experience cultures different to ours. We know how it is to be on the outside, and we learn to bring others in to create inclusive spaces so others feel welcome. Individually, we're strong, but together, we're unbreakable. Just like I do, believe in the person you're becoming. We build community side by side in solidarity. That solidarity, however, cannot come with exclusion. So as the president of Bridges and Borderlands, I started a human rights research organization to open up bridges, platforms of discourse and research to understanding the realities, cultures, and situations occurring in the global South. During the pandemic, gender-based violence worsened. Women went missing in Peru, dropped off the face of the earth. Conflict in Tigray, Ethiopia worsened, and women were gang raped and tortured. This is known as the shadow pandemic. With the support of the Schaeffer Center, we were able to investigate and learn more about the shadow pandemic. Bridges and Borderlands became a space for students to own their agency, discuss and conduct research together on human rights-related issues outside of class. Not only Bridges and Borderlands, other student organizations on campus, AUP Green, Black and Abroad, Beit Navu, AUP Campus, UNICEF, ICP Student Board, build community and enact change on campus. So we, as AUP students, step up and hold ourselves accountable as global explorers and learn about these cultures no matter how foreign they are. With the support of academic affairs, student development, and the library, Bridges and Borderlands was successfully able to hold workshops, panel discussions, and training seminars involving Global South scholars. We consider each other, and in emergent situations as a community, the least we can do is listen, learn, and have empathy. This is what my family has taught me. As children, we grew up saying we'll never be like our moms, but one way or the other, we end up becoming like them because they're an intricate part of our lives, and they mean everything. To my chief supporter, my comforter, sometimes a thorn in my side, because even the most beautiful rose need thorns to protect them. I say thank you, Mom, and I love you more than life itself. Thank you for single-handedly giving me this opportunity to have this education. I can only wish to be half of the woman that you are, and more each day, a strong Igbo woman. And to our students whose moms have been of tremendous great support, I want you to give our moms a hefty, loud round of applause. And our dads. Don't forget the dads and our dads. To the entire AUP student body, including my professors, the library administration, I appreciate the support. It means more than you know. From the security guards to the health office, I have loved meeting the kind soul that keep this school running. My goal at AUP in the classroom and outside of the classroom was to build community and find a place for myself, and I did. It says handle with care on precious things. We're delicate yet strong at the same time, just like these precious things are. So I say, handle each other with care, but not condescendingly. Acknowledge the respect we owe to each other and treat everyone with kindness. My fellow graduating students, apply yourself, be curious, and dare to defy odds. Be unafraid to feel everything, the highs and the lows, the tears and the laughs, the letdowns and the lifting ups, the successes and the failures, and the disappointments, and the pure exhilaration from finally winning. According to Carla Gibran, the deeper that sorrow carves into your being, the more joy you can contain. Some of you know me as confident, but in my darkest times, I am afraid and insecure. But I know this for certain. The future is for the taking, but only for the bold. And in this small community, having come this far, it is clear, my fellow graduates, that you are bold. So go out and get what is yours. Build community wherever you go. Include others. Ride till the wheels fall off. It is time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Adeze. Before I introduce the next speaker, let me have just a little thought for the dads as well. Thank you, dads. The following graduate speaker was elected by her peers and selected by a panel. She also is a recent graduate in diplomacy and international law. I now call on Amelia Irwin.
It is my honor and great delight to welcome students, family, friends, faculty, and staff to our collective 2020, 21, and 22 graduation ceremony. The decision to study in an international setting is filled with unusual hardships, but it is the pathway we sought for ourselves. Through grit and ingenuity, we have become empowered to forge our own wonderfully unique paths. We all have our own COVID-19 stories. I was living in Beijing when COVID emerged. My work visa was expiring, and I had to escape China as the borders were closing. Now, not everyone's story may be so dramatic, but we have all experienced upheaval, from pervasive isolation to cataclysmic changes in our everyday lives. Pursuing an education during this strange time is especially courageous, and our graduation today is an undeniable sign of our intrepid spirits. We must celebrate our collective perseverance, something exceptional all graduating classes present today have demonstrated. If there is anything we have learned from surviving a pandemic, it is to actively listen to each other's struggles and to encourage each other through hard times. When we embark on an unusual path, we are bound to fall short of our goals. Have we all failed at times? Absolutely. But our greatest pursuit is not perfection, but whether we can recognize our failings and rise together to meet the demands of our times. Whether we allow ourselves to be shaped by current events, or whether we act to shape them. In my time at AUP, I have joyfully discovered the inquisitive spirit, courage of conviction, and undying tenacity of AUP's graduate students. AUP's academics embody the value of the liberal arts education, one that doesn't only emphasize technical knowledge, but guides us to confront global problems with innovation. College is all about learning, which requires being at risk and at odds with oneself. True learning requires being uncomfortable, confronting contrary beliefs that allow us to examine our own internal biases. At AUP, we encountered people every day with remarkably different life stories from our own. Acknowledging and attempting to understand our differences has been parallel to our academic growth. We are graduating into a world confronted by immense problems, senseless wars, ruinous climate change, and pervasive threats to human rights. As graduates, it is now our turn to unite and to identify our common goals to combat disparities. We have all worked hard to get here today, but we have not worked alone. It is important to recognize those who have helped us, because we are often encouraged to forget them. From a young age, we have been ingrained with the tale of the self-made man, but that story is pure fantasy. If we reflect for a moment on our own lives, I guarantee that none of us would have made it here without the help of others. We would not be here today without the AUP staff nurturing our growth on and off campus. None of us would have flourished without the guidance and instruction from our exceptionally brilliant professors. We have succeeded due to the custodians maintaining our beautiful campus and security keeping us safe every day, including weekends. And our supportive families and closest friends have encouraged us, even been hard on us when we needed it. These people have contributed to and even paved the way for our success. Many of them are seated here today to celebrate our accomplishments, but they deserve to be celebrated too. If there is one thing we should have learned from COVID, it is that no one does big things by themselves. As graduates, it is our time to reflect on the help we have received and to be inspired to help others find their own paths. When I reflect on my own time at AUP, I feel immense gratitude for the people who have paved the way for my success. I think of my parents, Ray Irwin and Cecilia Rogers, who have continuously uplifted me through my endeavors, and my godparents, Alan Carla Sargent, who found the sublime in the mundane. My days have been brightened by Jackson Van and Zachary Egan, whose compassion and endless support never fails to raise my spirits. My dear friends, Sandra Diab and Jennifer Edwards, inspire me with their steadfast determination and undying honesty. I would not have succeeded without Sandra Lafour, my own fairy godmother, who finds creative ways to magically solve my problems, or without Michael Geminer, who has always encouraged me to find it within myself to work harder and to continue to push forwards. I think of my sister, Regina Davis, who encourages me to make responsible choices, and my brother, Glenn Davis, who encourages me to have fun. I am thankful for Matthew Fisher, who always inspires me to see the good in others. To me, these people have filled my path with joy and nothing but absolute bliss. We can continue on our journeys with confidence that our education and the help we have received during this strange time in the world has prepared us to confront the great tasks awaiting us. Now, we are all embarking on another magnificent adventure, filled with excitement and terrifying uncertainty. In the words of American writer Joseph Campbell, you enter the forest at the darkest point, where there is no path. Where there is a way or a path, it is someone else's. Each human being is a unique phenomenon. The idea is to find your own pathway to bliss. Congratulations to all graduating classes. We must remember to always have faith in ourselves. The perseverance we have developed with help from people in our community will continue to inspire us as we forge our own wonderfully unique pathways to bliss. Thank you.
Thank you, Amelia. I'm afraid it's now time to close this ceremony. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. And I will now ask Hera Soysal to return the mace to Marshall Rosenstein. And I would like to ask our faculty marshal, Professor Roy Rosenstein, to lead the recessional, beginning with the platform party, followed by the faculty. The graduates will be sitting along the sides on their left. I ask our guests to remain seated until the end of the recessional, at which time we invite you to join a reception honoring our graduates in the lobby of the theater. At different levels, you've got food and drinks everywhere. Welcome to France. As you exit the doors, the theater, we ask you to not block egress and therefore to disperse as quickly as possible. And refreshments are going to be located on the ground floor, on the balcony, and on the above levels as well. If you move quickly away from the exit doors, everyone will be able to circulate in the lobby areas and enjoy the reception. We would like to ask your assistance in maintaining the ambiance of this beautiful theater and not to leave glasses anywhere, particularly outside when you leave. Finally, a word of thanks to the theater staff. Mesdames et messieurs du Théâtre du Châtelet, nous voulons profiter de cette occasion pour vous exprimer notre gratitude. Encore une fois, merci pour l'accueil. Merci pour l'accueil que vous nous avez réservé cette année encore et le grand professionnalisme qui vous caractérise. Un grand merci donc à Monsieur Chaumont, à toute son équipe. Nous avons eu encore une fois plaisir, et ce n'est pas la dernière fois, à collaborer avec vous. Monsieur Schaeffer.
I have never crashed a graduation in my life. But I think, I'll tell you a little story. My daughter, Ariella, when she graduated high school, she applied to 6 schools, and she only got accepted to AUP. And we were wondering. And one day I got a letter from one of the schools thanking me for telling them that she's not interested in going to any other school. So she wrote 5 letters, being confident that she's going to be accepted to AUP. She graduated AUP. She got a master's degree from AUP, and I am very involved in AUP. But that's not why I'm up here. I think this graduation, and the reason I'm involved in AUP, is one person. And I will embarrass you now. Our president, Celeste Schenck. I know I'm out of order, but I also want to set an example for the graduating classes. If you want to say something, as embarrassing as it might be, and as much as my heart is shaking, should I do this or not, stand up for what is right. I'm not finished yet. 14 years, this woman, this brilliant woman, a woman of heart, a woman of love, a woman of strength that took all of you through COVID, strikes with yellow jackets, craziness of this world. She has been there for you, and for you, all of you. And I think we need to thank her publicly as she retires as president of this remarkable, incredible institution. So I ask all of you to give her thanks and recognize her as the best ever. I apologize for the interruption.